Ni hao shou pao. Worst intro ever. What's cooking, mga seasonings? This is Ken from the Spice Dudes, and tonight we're going to be talking about something that is very close to my heart, something that's been asked of me many, many times throughout my life, and I sometimes get tired of getting asked the same question. Recently I appeared on a show kind of discussed what Chinoy romance is all about. And if it hasn't been obvious since the time we started this channel, I'm not of local blood. And one of the questions that they asked, or one of the questions that I've always been asked, is like, how is it different? How is it kind of unique and different from like local romance here in the Philippines? Well, a lot. Okay, so first of all, the question, like some of the questions asked during the show was like, number one was like, what is Chinoy romance for me? And second question was, what sets Chinoy romance apart? And I talked about it like really briefly, but I think with this video and how Valentine's Day is coming up, I think a lot of the Chinoy homies would, Chinoy fam, would really appreciate it if I actually talked about it, because I think like there's a lot of shows like Fresh Off the Boat that talks about American Chinese and their lives and how that's gone around, and I think it's very relatable for all American Chinese. But not a lot of people talk about what it's like being Filipino Chinese, and definitely not a lot of people talk about their romantic lives, the Chinoy community. So again, first question is, what is Chinoy romance? Of course, it's romance between two Chinoys. What the heck do you expect? But I think I can explain it better with the second question, which is like, what sets Chinoy romance apart from other kinds of romance? And to explain that, to expound on that, to answer that question, I have to first describe the background of most current generation Chinese here in the Philippines, anyway. Current generation Chinoys. Okay, so can vary from family to family, but most of the time we were raised in an environment where our parents work really, really hard to provide for us everything we need. We just need to concentrate on study. Like, that's it. That's really most of what you have to do. And I think that's how most Asians, or at least East Asian parents, really try to provide for you. They don't really say anything about how they love you, but they make sure that you will not suffer. And that in a way it's its own kind of special. I don't know. But you have this environment where uh, you grow up kind of sheltered, kind of awkward, that you don't know how to deal with a lot of situations out there, primarily because they're trying to prevent you from getting hurt or anything like that. And then you put two of these same people together who have not experienced a lot of things. Again, take this with a grain of MSG. That two people who were kind of sheltered all their lives are now starting to go like, hey, you know what? I gotta get myself a partner. Like, maybe I should. Which usually happens through something called kaishao, which is like Hokkien for, or Hokkien for 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 local speak would say like reto, getting introduced, getting referred, a referral system. I don't even know what you're supposed to say here. But basically, you get introduced to someone who's also looking up for a partner. Sometimes I think there's some businesses out there, and the show I was on actually is trying to start that kind of a movement here, like make it more accessible. It's like Tinder for Chinoys. But again, two individuals, Chinoys, who don't really know how to date, come together and see if they would click. And usually that kind of goes into like speaking about marriage, or if they don't really like each other, then all right, fine, nothing else happens. That's most of it. And it does have a feeling that's kind of sweet, kind of awkward, kind of like a first high school romance kind of thing. And that's nice. But at the same time, it's also kind of strange because, of course, it's basically like an extension of the old Chinese tradition of matchmaking. Of course, you all know uh, the old matchmaker from Mulan, ancestors, hear my plea, and then you may pour the tea. Hope everyone got that reference. Oh god, I'm old. I think it's an extension of the old matchmaking system where you have a guy, a single guy, you have a single woman, and then you get together, you make babies, descendants, because continuation of the family line was like super super important. The surname was incredibly important. I think that kind of explains what Chinoy romance is kind of like. It's kind of different from like probably the way Filipino romance is done. Concept of ligaw, all that jazz. Maybe I'll talk about it another time. Maybe I'll actually discuss it from the eyes of a non-Filipino. But that is like really most of it when it comes to Chinoy romance. Maybe I'll talk about Kaishao, or the concept of Kaishao, Xieshao for you Mandarin speakers out there. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about what Chinoy romance is all about? What do you think it's like in this current age? What are your struggles for Chinoy romance? Because if you're watching this, you're probably Chinoy. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment if you would like to see more of these kinds of videos. Leave a like, subscribe. Bring me honor to my Chinoy family. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, keep it spicy.